Good afternoon.
Yeah, we'll have a discussion towards the end of the presentation. So please patiently go through the presentation, and towards the end of the presentation, I will take Q&A. Okay. See, TopDoc is a unique platform. It is first of its kind, uh, uh, you know, in the healthcare space, not only in India but elsewhere too, in the West too. I'm going in the next few slides. I'm going to tell you why and how it is different, and why it is important for the Indian healthcare industry to embrace this. See, this TopDoc is a healthcare delivery platform. It is for all kinds of healthcare delivery. Whether it is primary, secondary, or tertiary care. So primary means this public health. Your family practices, general practices, and all. The secondary and tertiary care would be primarily specialty specific care, where you have specialist doctors or hospitals handling the healthcare delivery. So this one is just not a software platform. So it is a mix of software and health, of and hardware as well as apps. So you would say that it is a hybrid platform, and it is extremely distributed. Okay, so it takes care of both business workflows and clinical workflows in a healthcare delivery environment. See, until 1980s, the healthcare delivery used to be doctor-centric. Okay, whether it is everywhere, particularly in India, it used to be doctor-centric. Doctors were in control, and then they were highly respected. There used to be a doctor-patient connect, and family practice was flourishing. Okay, but something mind-boggling have happened in India sometime around early 1980s. So what happened is the corporate culture has set in, and doctors, started slowly going towards to the back end and the background, and then the hospitals started coming to the foreground. And because of this, doctors lost control on the healthcare delivery. And there is there you have if you look at it right now, there is a profound patient doctor disconnect, and family practices have almost disappeared, and doctor is just another cog in the wheel. Okay, and nothing more than that. And this is dangerous for healthcare delivery. Okay. So now if you really see what are the other aspects of the other components of the healthcare delivery, you would see government playing a major role. So we do not know whether we are a private healthcare delivery system, or a public healthcare delivery system. It's all a mix of everything. You have insurance, playing some certain role, in hospitalization of patients, and pharma companies, coming in and then messing up the scenario further. And right now, you have online companies coming in and then messing up the market. So you have too many actors, in the space now, the healthcare space now. Uh, and that is really impacting the quality of healthcare delivery. So then what has happened now, you have another peculiar thing is happening, has happened in the last 30, 40 years. Cut practice has become profound for the doctors. they started charging, for every referral, hospital pays some money. Then, pharma, the doctors get some piece of the pie from pharmacies. They get a piece of the pie from the labs. So now, it has become much more complex. So, the patient is the one, who started suffering. So the last few decades, the patient has been suffering so very much. In addition to his own medical conditions, he has to deal with the complexities of healthcare delivery. Urban, it is much better, but if you go to the towns and rural areas, it is much more profound. So, the idea is to really regain that old situation where the doctor-patient connect gets reestablished, and everything revolves around the doctor. See, even if you take a hospital, the uh, without a doctor, a hospital cannot perform, right? That is as simple as that. It's a no-brainer. But the hospitals, you know, underpay these doctors. They treat them like crap. And at the end of the day, because of that, doctor, doesn't have any visibility, any contact with the patient. And particularly for when you're dealing with, chronic diseases or acute diseases, which needs hospitalization, things like that, a doctor-patient connect becomes very important. See, let us take, for example, a consultation has happened or a hospitalization has happened. Subsequent to the consultation, then the patient gets back home, or a hospitalization, the patient is discharged, the connection is lost. The doctor-patient connect is lost. Doctor doesn't know whether the patient died or whatever. That's called clinical outcomes. So there is no control. There is no monitoring of clinical outcomes. And because of this, the quality suffers, because if the doctor knows that, whether for the treatment what he has suggested, the patient is responding to it or not, then, he can take corrective actions. If that is not there, then, we have a serious disconnect. Okay. So, let us understand the doctor first. The doctor, he is primarily interested in his income, nothing more than that. But, clinical outcomes, sure, he's interested, because if the clinical outcomes of his treatment is better, more patients go to him, and because of that, his income increases. And he's bothered about his time, how much time, he has to spend to earn certain amount. So the time is another important thing for a doctor. And patient access, how patients are coming down to the doctor's clinic or the hospital or house, whatever. So, and then, how sustained the patient flow is. So COVID has come, so because of that, their practice may get impacted. How future proof his practice is, this is another, issue that the doctor will have to deal with. Patient loyalty, is another important thing, particularly for family practice, dentists, all these guys need to monitor or sustain this patient loyalty. And bottom line is, they need to future proof their practice. And if you really see the type of tools what the healthcare industry is having to make it happen, none of these things can get satisfied, fulfilled, with any one of the tools, whatever it is, which is available today in the market, this cannot happen. That is the reason why in India, you do not have $1 billion, that's called unicorns. You do not have even a single healthcare unicorn. You know, and the Practo, was a promising thing, 10 years back. It is nowhere now. They raised around $300 million. It's nowhere. So primarily because of this, it is complex. The healthcare is complex. That's the reason why, India, but India did not see even a single healthcare unicorn. So if you look at patients, are worried about three things, about their time. If they're not happy, healthy, they would like to really spend quickly, some time with the doctor, get back home, and then, recover. And, patients spend hell of a lot of time. The moment when they have to go to a doctor, one day is lost. They'll lose a lot of money. So this is the primary botheration of a patient. It is time, money, and the hope of getting healthy quickly. So these are the three things, that are considerations for a patient. And then, if you really look at the various healthcare medical conditions of patients, you really see, if you see that pie chart at the bottom of the patient thing, this one, chronic diseases, that means diseases or medical conditions handled by specialist doctors almost constitute around 35 to 40% of the overall patient population. And then, the acute OPDs, like, the general practitioners, family practitioners, dentists, these guys, constitute almost around 45% of the overall patient market. And the other things like acute conditions where, that needs hospitalization, or people who need surgery, that kind of situations, would be around 20% of the overall population. So this would be the breakup of the overall patients in, particularly, because, we are talking about the Indian market. This would be a similar case elsewhere also, even here in the West. So, if you really see, how a doctor, creates, his practice. If you really see at the left side, a doctor creates his practice through a series of referral networks. So a cardiologist may get referrals from a bunch of the general practitioners or family practitioners or specialists, from towns. Urban doctors may get referred by similar cardiologists. Say, let's take for example cardiology. The cardiologist in Bombay, may get referred from by a cardiologist in Sholapur or Pune or whatever. So primarily the referrals is the backbone of a specialist practice, and creating referral networks. And you have then patients. If the patients are happy, clinical outcomes are are good. So doctor, patient will be happy through with the doctor. So he refers. So the patient networks and the doctor referral networks, is the key for sustaining a doctor's practice. And this kind of a situation you do not see anywhere, in India. Even in the West, you do not have this kind of networks. Like social networks like Facebook and all, you do not have this kind of networks for healthcare space. So similarly, doctors, there's another thing, crazy thing happens, particularly in India. The uh, the uh, the healthcare delivery, all these doctors, practice in packs. So that means, sort of a very informal associations where a cardiologist, a nephrologist, a neurologist, a bunch of general practitioners, all these people refer internally to each other. So this is a normal thing that happens everywhere. That's basically a pack practice. So they work in packs of 10 or 20 doctors together. They informally refer to each other. So, this kind of a thing, what happens is, it creates a network effect. If there is one system which can take care of all these things, like the referral networks, the pack practice situations, and then the patient networks, it creates a network effect. And, it really, expands the number of doctors and number of patients over the platform exponentially in no time. So that is the net. This The picture, what you are seeing here, see, let us take, for example, a specialist practice is there. The specialist practice, may be having his own internally, a pharmacy, there will be a lab associated, there could be a lab associated with the clinic, and a bunch of referral doctors may be sending patients to this particular doctor. Now what happens is, so you have a clinic, a bunch of GPs, general practitioners, referring patients to them. So once you sell to one doctor, you are instantly creating around 30 or 40 doctors connected to the thing. So you sell to one doctor, you are actually indirectly selling to around 40 doctors, because they are in the referral chain. Okay, so it doesn't, sure, you may have to go and then sell it to them, but the thing is, once the referral is there, it is easy to sell it to them, sell the subscription to them. Similarly, a pharmacy is there. If the pharmacy is not an internal pharmacy and it's external pharmacy, the external pharmacy also can be connected to the specialist practice. So this external pharmacy, whatever which to which this specialist is connected, this pharmacy maybe catering to around 10 other doctors, and the 10 other doctors, once the pharmacy creates his own its own referral doctors, this pharmacy is giving rise to 10 more doctors in your network. So similarly, the same thing happens with the lab. So by setting up one practice network for a specialist, you are creating tens of clinics opportunities, where your sales guys can go and then activate them. So this creates a network effect, and then the speed at which you would enroll the doctors goes up heavily. So you will not see this kind of situations normally in any other healthcare system. So now finally, what has happened, because of all these things, which has been factored into the healthcare platform. So you have a connected practice of a doctor, which creates inflow of patients through referral networks, and then patient networks, and then the pharmacies and labs which are there can create another level of level of network effect. So this way, say, let's take, for example, you have Bombay, there are around 50,000 doctors, 50, 60,000 doctors, so this 50, 60,000 doctors can covered in around 10 to 12 months flat. All the doctors can get covered because of the network effect. So if you really see the typical thing, if you really see the diagram on the left side, top corner, top left side corner. So this is a typical clinic. What happens? See, if you see, the doctor is connected with the pharmacy. You have labs connected. You have referral hospitals connected, and because of this, what happens is, you are you can clear many patients really quickly. That means patient handling capacity of the clinic improves tremendously. And if you see at the bottom, you have a bunch of apps. This is the first one, is a specialist app, for doctors. Then you have a patient app. Then the third one is for the secretary, the app for the secretary. Fourth one is for the labs. Fifth one is for the pharmacy. Then this one is for this attendant, who really checks in and then checks out patients, standing at the door of the doctor's consultation room. Then you have this marketing. This is for the sales guys. Primarily, for dealers or channel partners. They have their own IT system, over the platform. So this really creates, whatever you're seeing on the screen just now, creates a situation where, you are a highly connected environment where multiple clinics can be there, which can be interconnected, where, referrals, patient flow can be smooth, number one. Number two, the data, the clinical data is properly captured and transferred. And on top of it, because you are able to capture analyzable data, you will be able to monitor clinical outcomes. Okay. So between consultations, that's we have what is called as an in clinic in treatment communication. And post discharge, you have a similar process in when someone is hospitalized. So if you really see this, for when typically, when you sell, a subscription, to a hospital, for channel partners, will be giving a 25% margin. So similarly, for staff subscriptions, doctor and staff subscriptions, the same thing, around 25%. And there, in addition to this, is a one-time affair. In addition to this, there are quarterly subscriptions for patients where a 2% of all the transactions will be transferred to the channel partners. And other than these patient and doctor subscriptions, you have variable rentals. This is primarily meant to monitor for chronic patients, heart rate, blood oxygen levels, blood pressure, things like that. This could come because of you have quite so many variables out there, and then it gets connected to the variables. And so some of the variables which are there in watches and all, may not be so accurate, and there may not be treatment grade. So for critical cases and acute cases, you may have to stock these variables and rent them out to the patients, and charge a rental from them. So primarily, this is how it is. Each channel partner. So if you onboard around 1,000 doctors, you are really looking at around a one-time fee of around 38 lakhs. For every 1,000 doctors. This would be your commission. Okay. And one time, similarly, one time hospitalization thing, it will be around 18 lakhs. So and then you have a patient subscriptions. The 2% thing what I was talking about will be around 1,000 rupees per month per doctor, would be the commission for you, for patient subscriptions. So this comes down to, for every doctor, for every 1,000 doctors, around 9 lakhs of rupees. So we are really looking at around 40-50,000 doctors in Bombay. So you can really look at the math, based on that. So we'll be sending you, for all shortlisted guys, we will be sending you detailed, a detailed, proposal, so that you can really go through it. This is primarily a teaser presentation. So, in terms of this, primarily, the channel partners, will be under control of, the healthcare delivery of the platform, in your particular territory. And you will be given, coupons, access, so that, you can activate the doctor, accounts, yourself. And, you will be monitoring, the business processes, with various doctors, to see, the responsibility of the channel partners is to ensure that the doctors, are able to use the platform well, so that they may need they need support there. And at the end of the month, ensure that most of the patient subscriptions is automated. The collection is automated. So end of the month, the money gets transferred to you. But the commission gets transferred to you. But the point here is this, it is the responsibility of the channel partners to ensure that the doctors use the platform properly and then they are properly supported. So this is the brief of the product and then the platform. So now I will take questions.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you are saying that this is for the channel partner system. So what will be the, is there any investment required for this business model?
Yeah, this you would need, you need to uh, uh, you need to really take control of the coupon system. So you would be given around 100 coupons, and then 10 for coupons enough for 10 hospitals and 100 doctors. See, our intention, our guesstimate is that projection is that you'll be able to onboard around 100 doctors a month. So on the average, the coupons needed for about 100 doctors, because at any point of time you'll be handling cash of around 25 to 30 lakhs. So around 50% of that would be a sort of a cautionary deposit. So that one would be required, and other than that, your operational thing. So that would be your investment.
So what will be the actual projected investment which you are looking for or something?
So, you would need, see, primarily, it depends upon how, see, the market is very huge, and it is
Mhm.
pretty virgin out there
Yes. Yes.
in
Yes.
Mumbai. And,
Yes.
Bombay can really be fast, in terms of conversions.
Mhm.
We are really seeing this thing, in a test market in Ahmedabad. Ahmedabad location, is able to onboard around 10 doctors, 10 clinics per week.
Mhm.
So a very conservative market like Ahmedabad is able to do that. So Bombay can be you can be very aggressive there. So,
Mhm.
around 100, it depends upon how organized you are. The more you are organized, the more you can onboard. So, that plan need to be done, will be done by someone, who will be interacting with you. And then, we'll work out a business plan, because the business plan, it depends upon, how you are organized, what type of an experience it is not about having, n number of people. So, you should be able to manage them, right?
Yes.
So, you need to really work out some of the strategic partner managers, are going to come, coordinate with you to create a plan. A business plan, is pretty, is specific to a particular organization.
Okay.
So, even if we give a plan that may not fit you, so, it need to be worked out individually. Yeah, you have, spreadsheets could be there, but someone need to plug in the figures of what the capabilities are, and based on that, you can work out and then zero down to investments needed. But I would say, you would really, gradually grow up rather than, burning things, unnecessarily.
Okay. Second thing, I think you should little bit tell about the detail about the company which is promoting this Top Dog
Yeah. See,
and what are the.
40 months back, we got together, in London, when we were discussing, we felt that, the healthcare industry is broken. And, there was a cardiothoracic surgeon, he used to practice out of Hyderabad. That guy passed away, Ram Mohan. He's an excellent cardiothoracic surgeon. So, while he was there he was here in London, and, when the outcome of the discussion is that you need a platform which can really transform this sort out this mess and then transform the healthcare space. So we put together a team of because healthcare the problem is engineers do not understand health medicine, and medicine guys are afraid of technology.
Yes.
So it's a
Yes.
serious mess. See, that is the reason why you don't see good products. So the engineers can they will be in their own mode. See, number one is engineers are short fused. Number one. Number two, they will be in their own tunnel vision. And doctors are no less, they are also short fused. So the moment there is an issue, doctors do not really go well with engineers. So maybe that is the reason why engineers do not have doctors wives. uh, so primarily, this we understood this problem, and then we have, it took a lot of time because of that. 40 months is not a small developmental time. So it took a lot of time, and went through iterations. We have a development center in Ahmedabad. Uh, and we were field trialing almost every every through 2 months. We used to come out with an iteration, test it out there in the field. So what you have is an extremely matured product. Okay, so the point here is that it is not about guessing that look, this is what the doctor wants. So doctor wants is what doctor wants, and that will come out of a few multiple iterations, and that's what we have done. And the initial objective was to create a doctor-centric healthcare delivery platform, which will regain that world glory of doctors. And I think we have achieved that.
Okay.
And this is just the first phase. In the next phase, we are going to bring in a lot of artificial intelligence into this. We have a massive amount of artificial intelligence now, but still, see, let's take, I will give you an example of the type of an automation, what we have, the artificial intelligence what we have. See, uh, when we uh, when a patient goes to a hospital or a clinic, you can say that that guy's day is lost. Morning, he will go, he will wait for the doctor. The doctor sees the patient, orders investigations. Then the patient goes to the labs, give samples, wait for the results. Once the results come, they go and then meet the specialist again, and by evening he is relieved with a prescription. Okay, so a day is lost. Whether it is in Bombay or Ahmedabad, the moment a guy goes out, walks out of the home, and comes back in the evening, 1,000 rupees is lost. So he spends 1,000 bucks, maybe 1,000, 2,000 bucks for the doctor, and then the medicines. So much of money is spent, and time is lost. The fellow, is not well. So this kind of nonsense, can be avoided. So we have quite a lot of systems which can really create a free flow of patients in the clinic. Patient need not have to wait for that longer time. After the investigations, patient need not have to really, be in the clinic. See, the moment, he gives samples at the lab, he doesn't have to wait, he can just go back home. So, so primarily, we have really, optimized this business and then clinical workflows so that, patient's life can be much, much better, in terms of the amount of time spent and the amount of stress and agony he has to go through. The same thing goes with the doctor also. So a lot of thinking has gone into it.
Okay.
This really works pretty well, in places like Bombay, because people don't have time there.
Yes, yes, yes. So I think you are sending us some detail or some presentation about this slide
No, no,
or
someone from Bombay is going to coordinate with you, and
okay.
this need to be done, on a one-on-one basis. This
Okay.
need to be done on a one-on-one basis, and see, whether someone. See, the thing is, this is not everyone can handle this kind of business. There's a lot of money in it, but at the same time, there's a lot of responsibility in it. It is
Yeah.
about healthcare. You are playing with the lives of people, so you got to be very, very careful. And then there are privacy requirements there. There are quite a lot of things, what we need to take care of. So, you cannot, access to patient personal data, cannot go beyond the four walls. There could be HIPAA regulations. So we need to really be careful. So when someone is going to interact with you, so all these things, will be run down.
Okay.
So, one sitting or two sittings, I think, the things will be clear. You can have a plan. You would see, how, cash flows can be planned out. You can see cash flows from day one. In the first week onwards, you can see cash flows. Okay. So there is no, it is like trading, the trading, every day you would see money, right?
Yes, yes.
So this is like that. And the beauty of this is, you have two types of revenue coming in. One is the initial sale, revenue due to initial sale. That's a one-time revenue. And then for every clinic sold, it gives you a recurring income for the life of that particular customer relationship. So, you are really, suppose, one clinic is onboarded, that means, 12,000 is assured for you per year. Okay, provided, you work with them. And then, as the business increases, for the doctor, your return also increases.
Okay. And what about the pharmacy and labs? Something?
Pharmacy and labs is another interesting thing, See, the doctors today, see, let's take, for example, a specialist doctor in Bombay. So, specialist doctors not only get patients, locally, but they get patients from outside also. So,
Yes.
this medicines, mostly, in the districts, you will not find quite a lot of drugs. So the medical shops, what they do is they give some replacements, it can be, faltu drugs, it can be all sorts of things happen, in this pharma space. So the doctors our platform allows the doctors to ship, their own drugs to the patients. So all refills can be shipped by doctors themselves.
Okay.
Okay, so see, this is totally a different platform, not seen till now anywhere, in the healthcare space. Yeah. So if anyone wants to ask a question, you can switch on your mic and then ask.
Okay, actually, I have installed the app in my mobile, but it is asking immediately. It is asking login ID and password.
Yeah, these apps, are not public apps. The apps will be are distributed by the clinic. So, whether it is a patient app or the specialist app, the clinic will have to see, we are not the kind of apps, we're not like any other company where they give public access to the thing. This is primarily, our customer is the doctor.
Okay.
Patient is not our customer. So if
Mm-hmm.
the doctor wants to give, the doctor owns the patient. So if the doctor wants to give access to a particular patient, doctor can give. We cannot really go onto the app store and then download and then start using it. Can't do it.
So why this restriction if patients, I think it should be there should be some flexibility. So a patient should also download and connect any doctor through this app or something.
No, no,
Will
actually, no. See, we are not a popular type of an app like Practo or things like that.
okay, yeah.
We are primarily an extremely serious healthcare delivery company. So we handle a lot of clinical data. Okay, so the amount of data, what you would find here, would be mind-boggling, and the amount of analytics, what doctors would get, would be would be a game changer for healthcare delivery. So see, what you really see, in the popular apps, what you find on the Play Store, our App Store, they're different kind of apps. They are not. See, having someone filling up someone. Well, let me tell you something very important. Doctors do not. The doctors hate entering data. They don't write even. They hate even writing. The doctor's own handwriting. He will not be able to recognize next day.
Yes.
So the doctors will not enter data. So in a situation like this, how data entry is there. We address that problem too. So when data, structured data is getting captured, that it gets captured without doctor entering even a single keystroke in the computer. So when data is getting so much of data is getting added up, so there is a privacy issue, of critical data. So if it is someone is saying that okay, some drug is being Zopiclone is being prescribed for a particular patient. That's okay. That is a simple. That is a higher level thing. Whatever medical condition that fellow is in, whatever problems are is in. So, and one doctor of same patient, two different doctors. One doctor cannot see the patient information of the provided by the entered by the other doctor. So we have multiple levels of privacy. Okay, so you've got to be very careful with patient data. See, this in India, there is a company called Practo that landed up into serious mess because of this. So they started peddling patient data, and not even like because they don't capture clinical data. They started playing with sharing prescription data and patient demographic data, and then they went down the tube. We shouldn't do that. See, this is not when it comes down to patients, very very critical. You cannot even touch even a single byte of patient information.
Okay.
So that is the reason why patient access to the system will have to be given by the doctor, because the moment we open it up, anyone can hack it. Facebook, with the $1 trillion market capitalization, can get hacked. We got to be very careful with this.
Okay.
So we cannot allow patient data getting hacked, and then it can be serious problems. It can give rise to serious problems. That's why
So,
we made it extremely private. See,
so is there any chat
huh?
flow or any demo login so any I can see or anybody
So
can
someone is
see?
going to demonstrate. We can't give access to you like that. So when there is a personal meeting happening, they will demonstrate it to you.
Okay.
Yeah. Someone from Ahmedabad or Bombay, will coordinate.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Anything else?
No, thanks for this.
Yeah. Milton,